everybody. Happy Sunday. Wherever you are in the world, morning, afternoon, night, next day. It's great to be with all of you. So, we're going to connect today with Archangel Michael, which is always a pleasure. Casey will be tuning in to see if there's any questions that we want to ask the beings of light. I don't really have anything prepared for today, just surrendering to the process and see what comes through for all of you. We've been very active in our I Am Creation course, but I'm delighted to be here with all of you today. I don't think I have any announcements other than on Wednesday, we have that free call for global peace and healing. That's every Wednesday at 11:11 a.m. New York time. You'll get a Zoom link. Please join us. We could all use a little peace right now around the world. So tell your friends and family it's free, and it's at 11:11 a.m. every Wednesday morning on Zoom. All right, with that, I think we're just going to get started. If you happen to be new to this call, my name's Kelly Kolodny. Been channeling a long time. The way that I channel, everybody's different. As I close my eyes, I make some toning sounds. I kind of rock back and forth. My hands kind of go all over the place, and I connect with the Archangel Raphael as the main guide that I've been tuning into for a really long time, but I have the ability to connect with many beings from all different realms. And earlier in the week, Archangel Michael was present and said, we've got so much happening that the energy of protection right now would be really wonderful to tune into. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, let me make sure I've got everything set, and we'll just get started. Everybody want to take a nice deep breath all the way in and let go. And all the way in and let go. Dropping down to the earth, you want to bring a beautiful green emerald light into the core. That's always important.
Hello.
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 We are delighted as always to be here with all of you, and it is as usual. I am not here alone, but by droves of other beings of light. It is that we recognize as we move into the atmosphere of the energetic field of your planet that there is a heightened amount of anxiety and fear at this time, as there is so much shifting and changing and turbulence occurring. And it is that we want to assure you that this turbulence will come to a place of stabilization, even though at the moment there appears to be great instability. And we are wanting you to know that all of the work that you have been doing for a very, 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 very long time comes into play now. And we ask of you to take all of the tools and all of the information and all of the teachings that have been shared with you for such a very, very long time, and to implement them, to apply them, to live by them, to, in a sense, what you might call walk your talk. For there is this energy or a name often that you call yourselves, which are light workers, working in a sense for the light. And it is that you're not really working for light. It is that you are light, that you came from light, you'll return to light, and you're here to emanate more and more light as you move through time and space in the physicality of the form of where it is that you are. And it is that emanating that light, which is essentially the vibration of love, does completely and absolutely make an enormous difference on the collective whole. And sometimes one may think that what it is that one person can do would not make any difference. And yet you can see what one person, perhaps who has an idea that is based in density and in separation or in ego, how much impact they can have on the entire world. And you might label that impact as negative in the polarity of the way the ego needs to form it. But you can see the result of a strong intent moving in a direction can influence so many. And it is the same for all of you. Your intent, your light, your willingness to own and to maintain your own power center and to influence it for the greater good of the unification and the raising of the vibration of the earth can and does and will make an enormous difference. And so we're here this afternoon to talk to you about whatever you're wanting to talk about, to perhaps answer any questions that may arise, as Archangel Michael will be arriving to support you in the protection vibration and energy that will come down as a dome of light around your physicality of your form, and some teachings of how to create this dome of light around the dwelling of your home or space in which you are, to support you in being what we call marked. And what do we mean by that? It is a marking that allows us, from the frequency that we are, for you to enter into our sphere so that we know that you are vibrating and holding that light, and we may begin to support you in connecting that light with other beings across the globe to enhance the quality of the experience that you're all collectively having as you're moving through this great transformation. We will be supporting and of sharing and a teaching of that today. But before we begin with that, what is it you are wanting to talk about?
Hi, Raphael. So as you mentioned, a lot of people are having anxiety and getting consumed by fear, and their field gets penetrated, even if they're having a good day, by maybe something that's going on in somebody else's life or something that they hear on the news. And I was wondering, how do you suggest that we protect ourselves from allowing our field to be affected by things, w- while also holding a deep level of compassion for what is going on for others and in the world?
Well, it is an important to have an awareness of what is occurring, because you are moving more and more and more into unified field and a holistic way of being collectively on the planet. It is less viable for you to separate yourself into a place in which you are fully isolated from what is occurring. That is why energetically you are feeling it, whether it be your animals or whether it be the dolphins and the whales, for they are feeling it. The elements itself are feeling the energy and the vibration, the crystals, and of course the human form itself. It is just as collectively in the past, you looked at the body as mechanistic, and in the sense that when you had an issue, there was a period of time in your history that you would isolate it. You call these people a specialist, right? And they would hone in on a particular area of the human form, and you would go in and try to cut it or to burn it, to heal it, to do something to it, thinking in somehow that it could be isolated from the rest of the body. And because the consciousness was at a certain mm, vibratory frequency, you were able in a way to get away with that more. You were able to isolate things and look at things from more of a mechanistic point of view. But as the vibration begins to accelerate, more and more of you are looking at your body from a holistic point of view, recognizing that every part within the body and every cell and every organ is affecting each other, and that it is a whole system. And you are approaching it from a holistic actual way of healing. And you are more in tune with your food and your water and the physicality of the body and the energetic field and all of that in your consciousness has become, you become much more aware of that and are moving in that direction. You will even move beyond that into you're just working really with sound and color and vibration for healing. And the same thing is mirroring itself on the planet, and that perhaps in many years ago, there could be a situation or what's happening right now, a war, and you could be separated from it and not feel it or not even know about it because you did not have the information to have awareness of it or technology. But in addition to that, you may not be affected to it because in your mind you could compartmentalize it and put it somewhere else. But as you are moving into a unified field, everyone is affected on some level by what's happening anywhere, any place on the globe. And when there's a concentrated area of suffering by many of you, it is like a disease within your body or in your organ. And that disease is amplifying, and it begins to feel as though it is spreading throughout the entire body. And you're being affected and not feeling well or feeling sick or feeling dizzy on some level, even if it is that you are the toe of the body, right, or the ear or the eye, and what's happening is in the liver. You're still feeling it on some level because it is moving through the system. And so all of you are feeling what's happening energetically at some level. And so the reason that Archangel Michael wants to be here is to support you in containing the parts of self that are well within you, within the collective consciousness, and amplifying those parts so that the stress level, just like in the body or the cortisol, begins to drop, and the healing from the light that's emanating from the aspects of self that are whole and capable flood into that area, just like blood would flood into a wound, to give it the energy that it needs for repair. But if you're all focused in on the wound itself, and you're picking at it and looking at it and pulling at it all of the time, it doesn't have a chance to heal. So you have to have an awareness that it is there, but then you have to concentrate your energy by elevating your vibration to a frequency that allows you to hold a spectrum of light that collectively merges across the globe together to raise the collective consciousness so that you can lift out of this and healing can take place in the disease area. And so in order to do that, the old things that you all know is to remove yourself from the constant bombardment of this information, to create boundaries from it. Not that you don't want to disengage so that you don't have empathy or compassion or take action. We want you to take action in any way you can, or send resources or be supportive. But once you have contained what you can do, just like in the body, you don't want to focus then on the disease all of the time. You want to focus on the well-being. You want to focus on the health. You want to take action to sew up a wound and to repair it and to recognize it is there. But then you don't want to be talking about it and thinking about it and worrying about it and being affected by it. You want to focus on the parts of self that are whole and healed so that the body has energy to give to that area to heal more quickly. So it is nothing new that any of you don't know, but there is something about the ego that wants to be involved in the drama, wants to be involved in the chaos, wants to be involved in the curiosity of the outcome. And in that, it begins to connect to the fear that is being permeated from a situation, and that fear reverberates back to where it is that you are. You hook into it and amplify it, and then you are spreading disease in the body or in the collective consciousness around the globe. And so there are energies that amplify this and hone in on it and repetitively repeat it to you that is important for you to disconnect from, to unplug from, and to know that as we call yourselves the light workers, is to work by holding as much light, as much compassion, connecting with the I am that I am presence, and reverberating that energy out and the outcome collectively that you are all wanting to see for the earth, and hooking that energy up to each other. So you first must protect, as you are asking, your own energetic field. And there are old-fashioned and easy, simple ways of doing that. Simply taking the time each day to intend that you are in a beautiful diamond sphere of light that is maintaining and holding you at a high frequency, elevating your vibration, holding that vibration and emanating it wherever it is that you are going. Now, when another comes into your field, perhaps it is vibrating at a lower frequency, you can spin them out. You might even take your hand and spin their energy out. They might be offended or laugh at that, and they might not even know what you're doing. You could do it a bit under the table. You're just spinning their energy back out so that it's not coming into your field. Now, if you have created a strong enough energetic boundary and field around you, it won't even be able to penetrate you. But if you notice that because of wounds that you have and triggers, you may have what are called holes in your etheric field. They're like Swiss cheese that have been ripped open from traumas and so on. You haven't had fully time to repair or intend to be closed in. Different hooks can get in energetically, and that you have to be consciously aware of that, and invite Archangel Michael to come to cut the cord, to disconnect it from you, to spin it back out. You may call upon Saint Germain. You see, you must call upon all of us, for as we have said repetitively over and over and over, we cannot interfere unless we are invited. But as you call upon us, we may consume any discordant energy that resides within your energetic field by the willingness for you to ask for us to come, or to invite Saint Germain and the violet flame to transmute it in this now moment instantaneously, that you command and demand that it is so, and it is. And that alone is extraordinarily powerful, that you have to do it. Now, you might say, well, I need to be protected when I go to a store, because there's so many people in the store and all their energy is bombarding me when I come in, and I'm overwhelmed because I'm an empath and it's too much. Take time as you get to the store, stop in your vehicle, your car, and sit and say, all right, I'm bringing up my protective shield. I'm inviting a spiraled energy of light to move quickly and rapidly around me, that is spinning off anything that is not in alignment with my vibration. You may then invite two guards, of the feminine and the masculine, of divine beings and ascended masters, to assist you and to stand guard at the door. Let's say you're going somewhere like what you call, what would it be? Target or Home Depot, right? And there's all kinds of energy floating all over the place. Before entering, invite the guards to stand on either side to transmute the energy of all of those going in, to protect you and keep you in that field, and to guard it so that there's a tube of light that you are passing through. So you're just floating through and doing what you are having to do, not feeling the energy, not feeling the fluorescent lights, not feeling any of that is occurring, coming in at you, the overstimulation, and you know that you are completely and absolutely protected. And so these are things that you're aware of, but taking the time, and it really only amounts to a minute or two of stillness. You can do it probably in 1 minute. In the intent in of itself alone is extraordinarily powerful. Now, it is that you can do practices that in addition to that, to help you. And so we're going to ask Archangel Michael to do that with you today. But before that, is there something else you're wanting to ask at this time?
Um, how do people that are confused about their purpose kind of get clarity or protect themselves from feeling so confused maybe when they have clarity?
Well, it is a willingness to trust. When they're that confused, they're not operating from the heart center, but they are in the mind, and the mind, or the ego mind, will want one to continuously question an outcome. And so it is the shutting down of the mind, as you all know, is extremely important in any practice, and the stilling of it, dropping into the heart, and beginning to operate by asking the questions to the heart, even placing the hand on the heart. And then others might say, well, yeah, then I hear something, but how do I know that that is true? Or how do I know that that is my mind tricking me? Begin to attune to its frequency, to its vibration. And is it a vibration that you love? Is it a vibration that you are aligned with? This idea of purpose is something that sometimes your collective society has placed upon you, that you have to have some specific purpose that has a label to it, that is identified as something that is in relationship to doing an action. I am an accountant, or I am whatever it may be, a doctor or a lawyer or an artist or a musician. But it is that you are, and I am that I am all of that. You may choose to attune to something and amplify it and explore it in a particular lifetime, but you really aren't any of those things. In your purpose and the timeline of your purpose and how it expresses itself, it can be a multiple of things. You may come in on a ray of light with the choice and decision that in this lifetime I'm going to express creativity, and you may believe in the beginning or think that your purpose is to be a painter. But as your life moves and shifts and unfolds, the creativity may find itself flowing out in a very different way. It may be in the organizing of flowers or the cooking of food. So it's then it could be labeled, I am a florist or I am a chef. But it is that you want to align with the vibration of what it is that you came on, the ray that you had. And it could be creativity, but then where that purpose finds itself and it moves through, there are infinite possibilities. So it's not as if there's an absolute decided one thing. Now you may come on the ray of healing, and that healing could simply be that you are holding space as someone holding the light as you're giving the food to the children in the cafeteria in the most healing and loving way, with a smile that is nurturing them. That is just as much a healer, perhaps, as the surgeon who is working in a hospital. And so it is that there are different vibratory frequencies of purposes that you may choose to attune and line to before entering into incarnation, and that you connect to, but they then have a multiple possibilities and different ways in which they can unfold. Your frequency may be that your purpose is of humor, it could be of integrity, it could be of law or healing, as we were saying, or creativity, or could be of nurturing, it could be of intellect, it could be of ancient wisdom and teachings. There are different ones. And so find out where it is that you align with the most joy, that you are navigating and most interested in. If there were no rules, nothing in the way, and you could spend all of your time doing something, what would you be doing? What would it be bringing you? What gives you a sense of joyfulness and purpose? And begin to delve into that, even if that is not in alignment with what collectively might be something that brings you prosperity. keep delving into it, because then you start to align with the ray of that frequency of the vibration that has a particular ray in which you are meant to be connecting to and unfolding on. And then how it shows up might be in a nuanced way that you're not thinking of. And then all of a sudden you look at what it is that you're doing and you realize, oh, I'm actually quite absolutely on purpose. Now, I guess the question actually was different than that in terms of how do you discern? And you have to practice by listening to the heart, listening to the body, attuning to more subtle frequencies, and removing your decision making, which seems contrary to what you have been taught, from the intellect necessarily and the mind, dropping more and more into the heart, because the information is accessible to you about anything that you really want to know. It is now at your fingertips. It is about putting that information into place, utilizing what is in alignment with the vibration of your heart that aligns you to move forward in the position in which you are directed for your highest good.
Thank you, Angel Raphael. Yeah, and I think right now, something that I thought, I'm wondering your thoughts on this, that if we just live purposefully, are we living our purpose?
Yes, of course. It is that somehow you've all made this whole purpose thing such a big thing. But the being in alignment with love and being present in the now is the absolute purpose of life. And so it's not really dependent upon the action that you align with that or what it is that you are doing. It's the vibration you're holding and whatever it is you are doing. And we've said this many times before. It doesn't matter if you're sweeping the floor or picking up the trash, or if you're a microbiologist. It depends on the level of love that you are holding in your vibration and joy that you are carrying it as you are doing it is what is having a rippling effect and making a difference of service across the globe.
So the first step to finding our purpose is most likely just start doing what we're doing now with our absolute full purpose, and it'll kind of lead us to that way.
Yes, doing whatever it is that you are now with love and joy. And then in that you start vibrating at a higher frequency. And then things begin to synchronize and line up, and doorways begin to open that align you with that next level that bring you even more joy. And it keeps growing and growing as you are spiraling up the ladder of light, in a sense. And so it is, if you are able to come into the stillness of the center point and be present in that which perhaps your mind has labeled as something that's not your purpose, and be able to find somewhere a blessing in it and bring love to it. That which you're resisting about it and trying to move away from it will automatically propel you to something else, rather than trying to find what your purpose is and to turn your back to that which was, keeps you in a state of wondering. And that's where you have a hard time with the discernment and your questioning, because you're trying to figure it out and navigate your way there through the mind. But when you come into the center and you're present, and you can find a place to expand the joy where you are, then you're vibrating at that frequency of joy, and it has to match more joy, and then it matches it and amplifies it, and that brings you naturally to a place that brings more laughter, more playfulness, more enjoyment. It aligns in a quickening of what you're thinking might be your purpose, and then you just find yourself there without having to force it or make it happen.
Absolutely, Raphael. And so, I would love to have Archangel Michael come in and tell us a little bit about protection. In particular, my question before we have the activation is, as we protect ourselves, what exactly are we protecting ourselves from?
Well, really, you're not protecting yourself from anything. I mean, that in it itself is an illusion. But it is that while you're still operating in a sense in this experience, you are not. It's not so much that you're shielding out something as you are raising your frequency to a level that the vibratory octave that you are holding is only vibrating with that is bringing you in alignment with that feeling of grace. So when you're vibrating with anxiety and with fear, you're more likely to need what you call protection in a sense, because you're attracting more of that type of energy and you're absorbing more of it. And so you feel overwhelmed by it. But if you make a conscious intent to sit and to protect yourself, meaning that you bring in this globe or sphere of beautiful protective light and you begin to sit in it, your mind tells you that you're then protecting yourself from other energies that are of a lower frequency. But really, what's happening is by doing the exercise and that intention, you're raising your vibration, in which you are no longer a vibratory match for the energies that you are trying to protect yourself from. They're just not in your field. So in your mind, you might think, I mean, I'm putting up this shield, which is not allowing these lower energies to come in. But what's really happening is by the willingness to take the time and the effort to do that, the light that you are holding and expanding automatically is not a match for that which you think you are protecting yourself from.
So we're just raising our vibration so that things that we're not looking forward to experiencing are no longer in our frequency. And that is what we mean by protection.
Correct. And so when we talked about the beings coming to stand guard around a place, they are emanating a certain frequency that you then are connecting and matching to, which is raising your vibration that allows you to float through something without feeling that of a denser energy. It's almost as if the energy of all the people in the store that are in fear or in a lower vibration, they're still there. They haven't left. But you're sort of floating in a way above it. Not that there's a hierarchy, but your frequency isn't matching with it. So it can't hook into yours. It doesn't mean it's still not occurring simultaneously. Just like all of the realities that are occurring right now in this moment across your planet are all happening at different vibratory frequencies. And you may or may not be a match for that. Now, if you are a match for something that's filled with turmoil and chaos and angst and sorrow, you might say, oh, well, then all those people are vibrating at a low frequency. It's more complicated than that, because they may have chosen to vibrate at that frequency to hold a space for the mirrored part of self, which is perhaps you, to be able to amplify your compassion for them. They're playing out their part. So it is that when you begin to recognize and fully embody and understand that everything is yourself and it's a part of yourself playing a role in the dynamics of this play that is unfolding, and that each part that is playing its role has within it the capacity to expand the collective and to raise the vibration, because it's bringing more awareness to something, or it's opening the hearts of others. Just like this horrific unfoldment that's occurring right now in Ukraine, think about all of the hearts that are opening, all of the people that are opening their doors to families, all of those who are cooking and taking care of others, all of those who are sending money and resources, all of those that are coming together to be supportive. There is always a counterbalance, right, occurring simultaneously as an opportunity to unify in more compassion. And the more that compassion and that frequency elevates and begins to permeate the planet, those lower frequencies become less likely to have something to match to. In which case, the lesson or the karmic play out doesn't necessarily have to keep repeating itself. And until there are enough holding that light. That's why Archangel Michael is asking, and of course I as well, for you to all hold as much compassion, hold as much light as possible, so that if there are enough collectively, exponentially, there is this acceleration in consciousness.
Amazing. So is Archangel Michael ready to come in and activate all of our vibrations to the level that we need to hold that level of compassion for the collective consciousness?
Oh, well, it is that Archangel Michael cannot do it for you, but you can align with Archangel Michael's energy and then hold it. We are going to need to translate for Michael for the connection here of fully embodying his energy is too much for the physical body at this time. The translation of what Angel Michael is wanting to express is an active protecting of your space. For he says that he is working very hard with many legions of warriors of light to amplify this protection everywhere, creating a web, and that in protecting your own space, this web of light can cascade like a net around the earth, and can also consume and support those in this now moment who feel very vulnerable. And so he is asking you to do something that requires activity and action, and does not usually ask of this, but it is important at this moment. Wherever it is that you live today on the earth, whether it be in a small or large dwelling, in a city or in the country, he asks that you go through a very specific ritual to raise your frequency of this dome that is created around your space, allowing him to connect your dome with others who are here today to create a web of light of higher frequency, and with the intention of creating light for those who are too filled with other endeavors to take the time to do this for themselves. Any energy that you connect to that feels nurturing and feminine, it might be that of Shakti, or it could be the Divine Mother, the Sacred Heart of the Divine Mother of the Immaculate Heart is very powerful and profound. And so you may want to get a statue of her, or you may want to get a bouquet of roses, or you may want to attune to the energy of Shakti or the divine feminine as a whole. Ask that you, whatever you choose, it could be that of a crystal of the feminine energy, of the color pink or quartz, and to put it in the center of your dwelling. In doing so, beforehand, he asks that you bless it with water and cleanse it, inviting the divine feminine energy to come into the heart of your home as it rises up from underneath the earth. He asks you to find the heart of your space or home, of the dwelling in which you live, and to sit there placing a hand on your own heart. He's coming in now and asks you to hear his words, as he will create an activated protection of your space. And if you so desire to go forward, taking these action steps in physicality on your own after the activation. Place your hand on your heart at this now moment, and in doing so, begin to expand the love there for self. In doing so, begin to attune to the base of your spine. And at that base of the spine, you may feel the energy and the coil of the Kundalini. He is going in, and this is highly unusual to do this at time, this moment, but wherever you are right now, you may begin to feel some warmth there at the base of your spine as he is coming in with his sword of light and begins to very, very, very gently, and only to the degree in which you are able to receive this blessing, begin to raise this Kundalini up through you. In doing so, there is another coiled energy moving in the opposite direction that will rise as well, as he is balancing the divine feminine and masculine within you. Within your heart, they are placing right now, and you may begin to expand and open a rose, as this rose is implanted in your heart by the Divine Mother as she stands in front of you, placing her hand upon your heart. She tells you that this rose has been activated with love for peace for Mother Earth, and a willingness for humanity to remember each other, to see each other, to hold compassion for one another, to love one another, and to bow to their own divinity. As she places this beautiful rose within your heart, she tells you that each day it will bloom and grow and widen, as you may begin to smell, or may an awareness of the rose scent come into your awareness at this time. The Divine Mother asks that you place an image or a picture of her, or of the Immaculate Heart, or a bouquet of roses in the center of your dwelling or home, representing the divine feminine of unconditional love and compassion for yourself and humanity at this time. Archangel Michael floats down as he puts a diamond light of sapphire blue around you, containing and holding you in that light as it spins rapidly, and diamond codes of light activate within your system. As this occurs, he asks you to witness him as he moves around from the south to the east, to the north and the west of your home, placing in each corner a cross. This is normally not something that is done, and it is not of a religious context, but it is done from protection. As he protects you, he places this in each area. If you are in a home where there is land or property, he is expanding his energy and this sapphire diamond energy of light beyond the home and the dwelling and out into the land to the four corners of each direction as he drops down the cross itself into the earth. And that energy is embedded, moving down into the core. From the core, it shoots up light, creating a dome around your property and your home, wherever you may be. If you do not have land around the dwelling in which you are in this now moment, the four corners of the building or space or room, you must place this energetic energy of protection as the dome comes above. This energy now raises the vibration of you into a new octave in which you hold the divine feminine for peace around your own heart. Those that live and dwell are protected within your home and your space. And that energy now is connecting to another and another that is here listening to this in this now moment, creating a web and a fabric of light across the globe. With that energy now in particular, it is that Archangel Michael asks you to amplify the love in your heart and to invite anyone into your space in which you are ready at this now moment to love or to forgive, who perhaps has annoyed you or perhaps has irritated you in some way or angered you, or perhaps they have hurt you or pushed you or abused you in any way, form. Perhaps you disagree with their ideas and thinking process or ideology. He asks you to invite them to come in and sit now right in front of you. And as they are sitting there, he asks you to open your heart and to give them a rose, asking them to receive this rose now of the law of forgiveness. In your willingness today to forgive another, this will ripple and amplify out tenfold across the earth to anyone else who's picking up on the octave of this vibration in this now moment, creating a wave of forgiveness and a sense of healing and peace, protecting your enemy, wanting your enemy to be protected. People. Any sword that you carry in your heart, any defense or heartedness that you have, any angst, that you put it down. And as you lay it down, Archangel Michael comes with his great sword of light. And as it touches that angst that you have placed upon this plate of light, it is diffused, it disintegrates instantaneously, for it no longer is. And so now you have this sapphire light around you, protecting you, this divine rose of love within your heart, a willingness to put down any restricted energy, hardened energy, defensive energy, as it is diffused and cleared by Archangel Michael. And it is now that you have had a protected vibration around the dwelling of your home, connecting you to the great light grid around the earth, promoting a higher frequency of healing and protection for all. With that, now the Divine Mother comes in. She asks you to open her heart for all of the children who are displaced, all of the children who do not have their home. She asks you to invite them energetically into your heart and into your home as you protect them, as Archangel Michael protects them. as they are held in a diamond blue, beautiful sphere of light. These children will bring peace to your planet. It is the children that must be protected, for they are carrying the star seed codes of light and will continue to be born of a new consciousness that will not inflict this type of pain. So keep them held in your heart, protect them, and love them. So it is. You have now received an activation for your personal physicality, for your home and your dwelling. Expanded that around the globe and taken into your heart forgiveness for another and a willingness to hold a child, keeping them safe and protected. And so it is. All right, everybody. Thanks for jumping on today. Sorry, my connection with Michael wasn't as strong. It's my third channeling in 24 hours. I'm a little whooped. I love you guys. I haven't remembered that process in a long time, but if you want me to repeat it to you, you want to bring the divine feminine into the heart of your house, however you want to express that, and go to four corners around the house, placing a grid down. You can use just 2 sticks if you want to, with twine, to make a cross. Place that down, bring the dome over it, and create that protective energy for self and the collective. All right. I love you all. Have a beautiful Sunday. I'll see you guys Wednesday morning at 11:11 a.m. and enjoy. All right. Bye, everybody. There's Casey. I guess you can undo it. Casey?
Yeah, let me try. I'm working on it. I don't know if I can do it because I'm on my phone.
Oh, I got it. I did it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Kelly. Love
Thank
you,
you,
love you, love
Kelly.
you.
Love and
Thank
peace,
you.
everyone, so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you
Love
so
and light.
much.
Hug and
Love
light.
you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Love you.
Oh my God. Love
Thank
you,
you so much. Beautiful.
That was amazing. Amazing. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too. Thanks,
Have a blessed day,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you. Love and light. Love and light.
Love
I
you.
love you. Thank you.
My heart is full. Thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.